So if you guys were ever curious whatever happened to my Evo after the torture test, well, this is how it looks. Pretty much this thing took a beating and still continued to work. Kind of show you the sight picture there. So a very cool weapon, guys. One of my favorite pistol slash SMG, whatever you want to call it. And let me show you. The magazines are still difficult to remove after that. What we need to know is how to properly clean, field strip this thing. So the first thing that we're going to do is to check that it's safe and there's nothing loaded, nothing in the chamber. I'm going to pull the bolt back and lock it like this. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but she is very dark inside. We're going to locate this pin right here. We're going to push. And normally this is pretty easy whenever you have a clean weapon, but not now. Okay, so I'm using the corner of the magazine here, and on your clean weapon that's typically not an issue. I'm gonna lock it back again. Notice that pin starts to come out, and okay, so I pulled the pin out. As you guys can see, the bolt is locked to the back, and now I can attempt like that. It just rocks out. There's only one pin holding it, and it is captive, and you don't have to worry about anything coming right out. And yeah, very, very, very dirty, guys. I don't know if you can see that. Very simple. Yeah. Okay, moving on. So this is the rest of the weapon. I'm gonna go ahead and release the bolt like so. And notice, guys, just notice the tight tolerances inside. To further clean it, I pulled the bolt back slightly like this, put my thumb in there, and push kind of like in a downward and outward motion. And at this point, this is the bolt and the recoil spring. There's plenty of sand everywhere, guys. And this is some thick stuff. It may not look like that in the video, but guys, this thing is filthy. Oh my goodness. There's pretty much nothing else that you need to remove on this weapon at this point. If you wanted to, the flash hider comes off just like this. Very simple. And I have an additional cap that I can remove. And I have the 1/2 by 28, the AR-15 threads. And then I have the 18mm Czechoslovakian threads right there. But honestly, it's that simple, guys. You lock the bolt, push the pin, remove the trigger housing, and then just pull the bolt out in the same manner that I just showed you. There's literally nothing complicated about this at all. There's no special gas system or anything like that. This is just a direct blowback, and it just uses the energy from the round to cycle itself, with the recoil spring returning the bolt back into place. There's these grooves right here, and I don't know if we can see, but these grooves give the bolt a minimum friction, and it allows the dirt and debris to be channeled away from the bolt face and from the actual bolt. I don't know, that's the breech face there. This thing, guys, is very simple, and I like it. Simple things means there's less chances of something going wrong or breaking. To put everything back, Quite simply, just take, insert, like that, pull the bolt back, lock it, make sure the pin is out, put it back and push the pin back in. Function test and trigger works. Very simple and just like that. As you guys can see, disassembly and reassembly in field conditions is very easy. You don't need any tools and basic maintenance can be easily achieved. Now, this is the middle of the video, guys. I don't want to bore the rest of you guys with additional details, but for all those like me who are interested in mechanical things or just are curious and like to see what things look like taken apart, I got the rest of the video of that. There's nothing too specific, guys. I'm not gonna give you, you know, technical specs, just overall, you know, the insides of that Scorpion Evo. And for everyone else who's not interested in that, guys, go ahead and like, comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, all your comments, you know, constructive criticisms, things like that. Let me know, guys, because I really truly try to, you know, create content that's interesting. Maybe, you know, it can teach you guys something, because I definitely learn along the way while I'm filming this. And you know, all the research and things like that I have to put in to give you guys legitimate content, because I definitely don't want to be wasting your guys' time. Anyways, I just came back from the flea market the other day and I picked up a couple of interesting things, some more like survival gear. I got this crazy portable saw I want to show you, and some other hand tools like that. And as always, I appreciate the support and I'll see you guys next time. But for the rest of you guys, go ahead and watch the rest of that video. Alright, paka. So after the torture test, I pretty much need to take everything apart and deep clean all the little pieces, because I don't want rust or anything else you know, appearing on my metal parts. But look, guys, this is literally how simple this thing is. Whenever you remove your muzzle flash hider right here, you remove that. I have a second protector because I have two different threads. Once you remove those, there's a barrel nut right here. You remove that. Then there's going to be a collar, and then the whole handguard. This is one piece, guys. This is one piece. It comes straight off of the barrel. Now the barrel, once you field strip and you push the pin out and make sure the bolt is locked back, this just swings out of the way, and then you push your bolt carrier back and down, and that comes right out. Of course, pistol grip is only held by one screw. That comes out. Notice that the receiver is basically just two clamshells that go together. This is literally how simple it is. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but those grooves that I was talking about, this is a pretty cool thing. And there's actually so much area inside the receiver that it's easy for me to understand why it's reliable, because all the dirt has places to, see all these holes? The dirt has places to move out of the way. And it's literally, the more that you shoot it, the more that it cleans itself. So, and I mean, I'm telling you guys, there's very little pieces involved. This may look like a lot, but actually compared to other firearms, this is really not that much. The lower receiver right here, it's very simple. It just has a mag release that I removed, a bolt last round hold open, an ejector, this is the takedown pin, a selector, and the trigger box right here. The trigger box is only held inside the lower receiver by a simple screw that screws into here, and the selector that goes, the ambidextrous selector that goes in there. And guys, this thing is so simple. If you ever looked at a AR or AK, this is very similar to that. Simple trigger squeeze and it releases the hammer, and it's really, there's not much to it, guys. Now this, the one difference that it has is this is a safety device right here. Hear that grit? I have so much cleaning to do tonight. Just to give you a better idea how much dirt and sand got inside this receiver. It's kind of hard to tell, guys, but this stuff is really big. It's not your typical dust. These are like little crystals, and those little crystals is what managed to jam two out of my 5 magazines. And this is the upper receiver. Obviously you guys can see those grooves that I was telling you about. But this guy, guys, is so lightweight without all without the metal barrel or any other components. It feels like a gigantic Lego in my hands. You just find the grooves and you kind of click it into place. Kind of heard that little click right there. And then with the screws, it just becomes solid, like a gigantic Lego. And this is the CZ Bolt Disassembled, and I was kind of pleasantly surprised to find this a little bit more complicated than I initially thought, but no problems. The main thing is I wanted to take it apart and oil all the springs and such, because I don't like feeling the grit on there, polishing my parts unnecessarily. I found 4 springs just in the bolt assembly there. Pretty straightforward stuff. And this part, for example, right here, this is the extractor. It's so beefy, and the spring is a lot bigger than, for example, the AR-15 bolt spring that's on the extractor as well. The firing pin has a spring on it as well, and so does this safety feature that fits into the firing pin. That part has to be pushed into so the firing pin is released. Just like washing dishes, you know, guys? Just like that, nothing different. No extra metal to worry about. Just go ahead and rinse off the plastic and you're gonna be good to go. Something pretty interesting to note is, notice how they mirror each other. This is the bolt and this is the front trunnion and barrel. See that the black hole right there with the actual hole? Then these 2 cavities, also the 2 black right there. Pretty much this is where they met like this, and all those pieces of sand, grit, and everything else kind of polished themselves whenever the two surfaces met, and it's a pretty tight fit, as you guys can see. Very minimal movement. So pretty much one of the biggest reasons why this thing was so reliable and you could handle just about anything that you could throw at it was the simple fact that it's spacious. It has enough space for all the dirt and everything to work its way out. I later noticed that there was a drainage hole at the bottom of the lower receiver, so that's pretty cool. And the biggest reason, guys, is this is a direct blowback. It just uses the power of the round to cycle itself, and obviously the spring to return into action. But guys, there is no, see, it's that simple. There's no gas system, no direct impingement, there's no additional systems needed for this bolt to move, which is a really good thing, guys. And it's very simple.